Today is, I think, October 7th, I believe. A couple years ago, I made a video called, it's on this channel still. I don't know exactly when it went up, but I'm pretty sure it was in 2020. I made a video saying it was like 1 million subscribers on the way or something like that. At the time that I recorded that, I was on my old channel. I had probably, I think, 37,000 subs or so. And that was cool. But in that video, I said that I was gonna have 1 million subscribers one day. But I didn't know how it was gonna happen. And I was saying, because I was watching the video back recently, and I was like, oh yeah, well, it can happen here on this channel, well, on my old channel, or like it can happen on some other channel, not knowing that this specific day would come where I'm, where I'm at now. Now we're still a far away from 1 million subscribers, right? But I'm gonna document this again, and I'm gonna keep believing it until it happens. The only way it doesn't happen is if tragedy falls upon me and I don't get to live long enough to achieve the goal. But God forbid, hopefully I'm healthy. Hopefully, I live a long life, and if that is the case, I will reach it. There's always people who like to shoot down something you're trying to do. Like when I was going for the Splasher Platinum, some dude was like, in the streams, when I was doing the streams, was like, just give up, you're not going to be able to do it. And I told him, I said, look, you're saying this now, but you're not going to be saying that when I post a vid. And what, I have not seen him say nothing, right? You can't say anything when it's done. You can't say nothing when it's done. When I speak and tell you I'm going to do something, and then you doubt me and saying, oh, just give up, you're not capable, and then I do it, you look stupid. Now, I don't think anyone watching this is doubting me. I would hope not. I mean, if you want to, by all means, go ahead. You'll end up looking stupid in the end, but hey, I don't think anyone who's actually watching this would even think that I can't pull it off. I want you to watch this video and know that if you're watching this video, you're seeing it before it actually has happened. You are literally seeing me say it in this present moment, and you're seeing it before it actually happened. You get to say, hey, look, I was subscribed to Nick when he had, what are we at right now? Like 137K subs. Which, I mean, it's a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot. And I love the fact that that's where we're at. But when you compare it to 1 million, it's just like a whole different level. And I'm holding a book in my hand. I'm going to show this in a bit. Now, I'm going to tell you that I think it would happen on my main channel, Nick AR. I think that would be the channel that hits 1 million subs. At least my first one to do it. I don't know how many channels I'll end up with 1 million subs, but I think that's going to be the first one to do it. I think it has enough potential to do so. And I'm very excited for what's to come on there. Now, how I'm going to do it is this. I've stated before how much I've studied YouTube and try to understand, how to grow as fast as possible on YouTube. And I'll continue to do that, but it's literally all about just making every video better than the last and just taking mistakes that you learn from producing videos and literally just not doing them anymore and making more mistakes and like just repeat that cycle on and on. Now I have this book here. It's called Laws of UX, and it's backwards for me, so I'm going to try to read it, but it's going to be tough. Using psychology to design better products and services. I actually did the way I found out about this was I did like a little study on YouTube psychology, and it came back to this book. Like there's a website called Laws of UX where it kind of, I guess, briefly touches on these psychological principles, and I did like a whole case study on it, and I learned some things from it. But when I found out that there was a book for it, I went out and got the book so I can learn more about it. When you want to really get good at something, like, or you want to like make really good videos, or like just understanding like human psychology can be a very helpful thing. And I feel like this right here, this is what separates me from anyone else. I don't want to say anyone else on YouTube, because especially as of recently, there's been a lot of people kind of like me with my similar mindset as me that are willing to like go above and beyond. But within my niche, there's not anyone doing this kind of stuff. Now there might be, if someone sees this and you're like, hey, he's doing it, I'll do it. But this right here is what's going to separate me, because, and it's not just this book, it's the idea that I'm actually willing to read a book like this, like something that you would think is unconventional, something that you would think like, why would a YouTuber read something like this? But this is actually very interesting. Me reading, I've read multiple books to help me with storytelling and stuff. These guys, other people, they're not reading books like that, right? They're not they're not doing case studies like I do case studies. That's the difference maker. And I haven't even started the book, but I'm literally gonna start it like when I stop recording on here, because I'm out here by the lake, and I haven't been on my reading and probably like the whole summer. I kind of like stopped. I think one day I just stopped because I was just like busy doing work, like trying to work on videos and stuff, and I just stopped, and I got out of the habit of reading, which is, I should be ashamed of it, but I got out of the habit of reading for like months, and I didn't read anything for months. So like just today, I woke up today and I picked up the book. Not this one, it was another one. I'm reading two. I'll be reading two books at the same time, because there's a lot of books I want to read, and I feel like reading one at a time. I used to do that. I feel like reading two at a time. Anything more than two I wouldn't be able to handle and like actually like with sustain the information. But two, I feel like I can balance that, like read one book in the morning, read another one like in the afternoon, typically when I'd go out on a walk and take a break. So right now would be my afternoon reading, which would be this, and kind of follow that format of, I guess, reading daily until, I guess, I don't know how long, but I want to get back on that because I was doing that before, and there's still so many books I haven't read that I want to read. I see so many out there. I'm like, man, that would be nice to read, but I can't get to that one until I finish the ones I already have. So I have to finish the ones I already have, which I don't actually have that many that I haven't read. There's this one, there's the one I read this morning, and then there's another book that I bought. So I own like 3 books that I haven't finished, which there's definitely in the past, I've owned like several more that I haven't finished, but then I ended up, going and doing those or reading those. But I am excited for this. There's one specific psychological principle in here that I really like. I mean, if anyone's interested, I don't know, this kind of stuff is more so for like UX is like user experience. That's what UX stands for. So like if you're designing websites and stuff, like this is like what it's really made for. But when you really think about it, it can be applied to YouTube, because it's like I said earlier, it's psychology. It can be applied to anything where you're like designing stuff, and it has like some little bullet points here where it talks about it says what you'll learn. If anyone's interested, and I have to read this backwards again. How aesthetically pleasing design creates positive responses? Hey, I got it right. The principles from psychology, what in the world is that? Most USE, is that an F? There's a bug by me, man. Yeah, okay, I saw it. It says useful. Okay. Okay, so the principles from psychology from useful for, wait, what? The principles from psychology most useful from beginners? Designers. I can't read. I'm literally an idiot. See, it's not backwards for you, but it is for me because I'm recording. That's the unfair advantage. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Predictive models including Fitts law, Jacob's law, and Hicks law. Ethical implications of using psychology in design. A framework for applying these principles. This practical guide explains how you can apply key principles in psychology to build products and experiences that are more intuitive and human-centered. And I have my trusty highlighter here to highlight important parts when I go back and revisit. But like stuff like this, like just the idea of going out and reading books that are gonna help me become better and like make better content, make better, and like just have a better channel. Whoops, my finger's blocking the camera. Just like the idea that I'm willing to go that far and do all that kind of stuff. Like I said, that's what separates me. That's why I'm gonna get 1 million subscribers, and I promise you that. The key to really having success on YouTube is literally making videos that people love. That's literally, when you boil it down to one thing, it's making videos that people love. The hard part is figuring out, how do I make a video that someone loves? Well, it really depends on who your audience is and what they love and what you think they would love, depending on like their demographics and stuff like that. But my goal is to make the best possible videos I can make. And because I learned that, when I learned that, like everything else, it doesn't matter. Now through my videos I get feedback and like I learned lessons. Like I even learned a lesson from my splasher video. I'll tell you the lesson I learned from that. I made a whole 30-minute video about that game. It took me 200 hours to actually get the platinum for it. The reason I even made that video is because I had the mindset of I want to make the best videos possible. Well, what's the most entertaining thing I can do? It's a lot more entertaining to see struggle to triumph than it is to see someone just easily breeze through something the entire time. Struggle is more relatable and it just makes it more interesting. So I was of the mindset that I need to put myself through like the craziest struggles and ultimately triumph at the end to get the best video possible. But I think I was wrong there. Now for the people who see it, they might think, or the people who saw that full video, you might think that was my best video. And I actually do think it is my best video right now, but there's a reason why it doesn't have the views. Well, it's been what, how many days? Maybe like 4 days or so. Less than a week since I posted it. I don't know the exact amount of days, but it has what, almost 140,000 views, which is not bad. But if I compare it to some of my other projects, I know which ones have done better. Come on, get on my face. I know which ones have done better and I know why. It's not only struggle and triumph that people want to see. People want to see what they're familiar with what they already know. And so Splasher is something that was unbeknownst to almost every person who was subscribed to my channel. And because of that, I think I put a cap on, I think there's a cap on how many views that video can get, just because it's not the most popular game. And sometimes people just won't watch because they just don't know of it. Or like it won't get pushed because there's not as much content on, like there's a lot of reasons. But I learned a very valuable lesson from that video. And so the 200 hours that I put into getting the platinum and all the pain and suffering that it actually took for me to get that, I think it's worth it when I really start to apply the lesson I learned from that. And that's why I'm very excited for these, I guess these coming months, and my next 2 videos in particular I'm very excited for. And basically every video after that, because I think it's gonna be an eruption. I mean, we've exploded before, but I think right now I can erupt and then continue that and not lose momentum. YouTube is ups and downs a lot, but to minimize the downs, you just gotta do what works. And but like, you don't really figure out what works until you do what doesn't work, right? So it's all a process. Nothing is really a failure, it's only information. And if I'm getting information that's gonna make me erupt on some never before seen type stuff, at least for me, I'll take that. I'll however many hours it takes for me to, learn that lesson, as long as it's gonna pay out for me. Anyway, so 1 million subs is coming. I should stop talking, but I'm gonna get to reading this book.